Hello, and welcome to this edition of ASEC Conversations. Today, we are very excited to have with us Derrick Hall, President and CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'll turn it over to our host now, Ashley Hammett. Ashley?
Hello, Derrick. Thank you so much for joining us today. The COVID-19 pandemic has put the 2020 season on hold. What do you think the prospects are for having baseball this year, and what do you think that could and will look like?
We hope that we have baseball this year, and if I had to bet, I would say that we are have games. We just don't know what it does look like. I mean, actually, at this point, if it's going to be with fans, without fans, I think there's so much uncertainty still in the air, and I think we are obviously at the mercy and in the hands of Major League Baseball, which is our governing body, who's following guidelines from the CDC, other health agencies, when the right time is to return. But we also know the community, the public, our fans may not be ready yet, nor are they allowed yet to get back into a situation where they are in mass crowds, not practicing social distancing. So with all of that, if I had to guess, we're probably going to begin games when we can without crowds. And that's totally different. It changes the economics of the game, the experience of the game, but it's important that we can at least get back on broadcasting, radio and TV so that people can experience something live programming and follow our team.
There's also been much talk about the 2020 Major League Baseball season being played exclusively in Arizona. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was one of the big proponents for it, especially at first, and I think it's doable. Reason being, we have all the facilities, we're going to have the great weather, we have Chase Field to use. But I think just like any plan or any idea, which it really was just an idea, and there's several of them, different scenarios, it's got a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, and a lot of problems. And so we have to address all of those and try and minimize and mitigate some of those issues. I've heard lots of different scenarios, including other states as well, or a combination that may include ours. I know that with the cooperation of the government here, cooperation of our franchise saying, go ahead and use our market, as many teams as necessary, we're more than willing to share our stage, share our city and our market. So whether it's here, whether it's a combination of here and elsewhere, I'm on board, sign me up, but again, I know that this is a great stage for that. I know that we could pull it off. I know that people want it to happen here. We'll just see how it works out.
The Diamondbacks are one of the most innovative and engaged organizations in the Major League Baseball. What separates you guys from the rest?
Well, I think that's really it. Most people wouldn't realize how much we've given, but since our inception, and since just 1990, we're one of the youngest teams in baseball, we've given back over $70 million. So we're really proud of the fact that we surpassed the 70 million mark in community giving. There's so many different ways that we do it. And if you compare us with the other 29 teams in baseball, we give more than every other team other than the Boston Red Sox, which is really hard to believe that there's just one team that would give more to the community than us. We give more back to the community than all of the other local sports teams combined. It's part of who we are. It's part of our mission. It's something that happens from the ownership level all the way down to our employees, with our players and our manager and our coaches in between, our minor league affiliates. Everywhere that we touch, we try and improve the community, and it's a big part of who we are. We're very proud of that, whether we're putting uniforms on kids or whether we're rebuilding fields or we're giving away Grand Slam awards of $150,000 each, say 5 of those a year. Whatever it is, we usually don't say no, and we try and find more and more ideas and ways that we can impact the community in a very positive way.
What did it mean to you to be inducted into the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame in 2019?
Wow, one of the greatest honors. I wasn't expecting that. When you see the names that I went in with this past year, tremendous, and a lot of good friends of mine. I didn't think that I was worthy. And looking at the names of those that have went in before me and those that still haven't yet gone in, it was quite a humbling honor, and it was one of my most memorable nights. It was a fantastic event. What a well-planned event and exciting, but it wasn't just about me. I mean, I looked at it as it was the organization being inducted into the Hall of Fame, because I'm only as good as our players are, but more importantly, as good as our team players. As I just mentioned, our employees. They're the reason why that night I was inducted. It's the work that they do in the community. It's the work that they do in treating our fans the way they do, putting on the best experience possible in sports. So when I was up there accepting that beautiful award that night, it was really because of them and it was for them.
In your opinion, why is the Arizona Sports and Entertainment Commission vital to our state?
Oh, I think it's extremely vital. First off, and I believe it's one of the first of its kind in the country. And when I was beginning my career, I was a part of the LA Sports and Entertainment Commission, and I saw the work that they did, and it was solid. And then coming here, seeing the work that they do in a very different light, but I think even more important in trying to attract events and trying to feature and promote events and sports as well, and what it does for youth, what it does for interns like yourself or the Hall of Fame. It is probably the greatest single advocate we have for youth and for sports in a state that is just a hotbed, especially when it comes to baseball. When you think about baseball and you have the Cactus League and you have these universities that have that rich history in baseball, and now Major League Baseball and youth baseball and the Fall League and club sports, it's tremendous. And we need that voice. And that is clearly what the commission has been. And I applaud their efforts. The growth has been well-deserved and well-calculated. And I can't thank them enough. And I know it's just going to continue to grow and succeed.
As an intern, I'm motivated by knowing that your first job was an intern with the LA Dodgers in 1992, but you rose to senior vice president of the communications before you left. Can you walk us through these steps in your career?
Sure. Yeah, that was exciting for me because I did start at the ground floor and the ground level. And I always tell people, if I could give any advice, especially in baseball, make sure that you get started at the best possible entry level and learn as you can, and learn from as many people as you can and try and do as much as you can. I was very fortunate that my internship gave me responsibilities both in the Florida State League from the minor league side, but also spring, because that was the home for spring training. And so I really did everything. And it was a matter of pulling the tarp when it rained, or stocking the shelves in the kitchen stand and getting to know every single fan in the stands by name, every season ticket holder, knowing what their likes or dislikes were, and handling all the promotions. It helped me understand the importance of how to treat a customer, how to treat a fan, and how to operate a franchise, even at the bottom level. And I got to know everybody from the major league side as well. And that allowed me then to pursue that opportunity to go out to Los Angeles and pursue my dream, of course, with a major league team. And the rest, as I say, is history, but it's been a lot of hard work and mostly good luck too. You have to be in the right place at the right time and have the right people believing in you. That's for sure. But anything can happen. And I tell people, don't let anyone tell you that it can't. Shoot for the stars. And people say, oh, make sure your goals and your dreams are achievable. I say that's true, but they're called goals and dreams for a reason. Go get them.
How did you incorporate that into your role as the CEO and president of the Arizona Diamondbacks today?
Well, it was interesting to go from a very large market to a smaller market. And the market in Arizona felt more like what that minor league feel was about. It's allowed me to once again go back to my roots with the Dodgers when I started in the minor leagues, where again, I have tremendous relationships and interaction with our season ticket holders here and our fans. Not only do I have monthly forums where I can talk to them online through my chats, but I try and be as accessible as possible through my email or text or voicemail, or when I see them out in the community. It's very important that we're there for them and we're accessible. That goes back to who I was then. I think I learned so much when I was in LA in how to treat fans. Because it's one thing to be in a large market and to have a team like the Dodgers or the Cubs or the Mets or the Yankees, where all you have to do for marketing is put out a pocket schedule and just open up your gates and people are going to show up. Yet there was a lot of competition there. It wasn't just the Dodgers, it was also the Angels. It wasn't just the Lakers, it was also the Clippers. You had the Kings, you had the Ducks, you have many teams there. And so because of that, you were actually trying to fight for your turf and for your fans. Every fan did matter. So it taught me there how to respect the fans, how to hopefully retain the fans, and how to make sure you continue to be important in the community, because you can't control the wins and losses necessarily. You're going to have injuries, you're going to have bad luck, you're going to have down years, but what you can control is the impact that you can have on your community around you, the way you treat people consistently, and your reputation.
And finally, who would you say has had the most influence on you personally in your career?
That's a great question. I would say Probably three people. My first really big boss in sports, Peter O'Malley, who was the owner of the Dodgers. He and his family had owned the Dodgers even back in Brooklyn and brought the team out to LA. Peter really cared about his fans and he cared about his employees, and he taught me a lot. He also taught me about giving back to the community back then. I can remember when I just started at the Dodgers, my first job, and I think I was making all of $16,000 or $17,000 a year. And it was during spring training, and I didn't even think he knew who I was. And he came up and stopped his bicycle, and he looked at me and he said, and at the time we were going through this workplace campaign, much like you would with a United Way. And he said, I just looked at the list of all of those giving. He said, and I realized you weren't on that list. And I said, well, with all due respect, Mr. O'Malley, I don't make that much. And without missing a beat, he said, then don't give that much. And I'll never forget that. Powerful. I get chills again today thinking about it. It means give something, obviously. Give your time. Give money if you can. Whatever it is, do something to give back to the community that has made you who you are today. Second would be Ken Kendrick, who's our owner today. Very generous man. He's taught me more about business. He's an entrepreneur, very smart, level-headed, but he cares so much about people and culture. I think the first time I heard the word culture was 15 to 20 years ago out of his mouth. And it's been a word that is most important to me priority-wise. And then last would be my father, who's no longer with us. But my father he was in the newspaper business, and I used to go to work with him even on weekends. And I would watch all the people show up and work with him on weekends. They didn't care. They just wanted to be around him. He always had a smile on his face. He knew everybody. He knew about their families. I was amazed at the way they just gravitated to him, as magnetic as he was. And I'll never forget that he always told me, you're gonna make it in baseball. But as you're going and moving up, and I didn't believe that, but he said, as you're moving up in your career, don't ever forget anyone along the way, and remember everybody's name around the ballpark. I want you to remember the security guard that you pass, and the ticket takers, and the person working in the clubhouse. And I've tried to take that to heart, make it a big part of who I am. And it was wonderful advice, and he definitely had a huge impact on who I am today.
Thank you so much, Derrick. We really appreciate it and everything that you and the Diamondbacks are doing for the community and for Major League Baseball. For those of you that tuned in today, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on ASEC Conversations.